rise to the surface. And actually, go ahead.
I have one more quick question. I am a pastor. I work with college students in this area. And to be honest, when I read or see reports of these people in leadership, pastors, priests, or whatever, abusing children, I get extremely upset.
Sure.
And it gives all the good workers, a lot of people that are not Christians, they assume all Christian leaders are the same, that they're all pedophiles or they're all this or they're all that. And what is your attitude toward today? What is your attitude toward organizations like, I don't know, Samaritan's Purse or Walkway to Discovery that are doing a lot of stuff with children, supervised and unsupervised? Do you feel, at least, let me give you an example. For me, when I read about all these priests that victimize all these children, I'm so upset I can spit, right? And I have no use for what they are about or what they represent. But that doesn't mean all Christian leaders are bad. But some people can't get around that. Am I making sense?
Right. I think because of my background as a Christian, I know better and I believe in choice. We have free will. That's the whole thing. And I don't, I've kept my spirituality. It's just hard for me to walk into a church because of PTSD. So it's really an association song. And Netflix portrayed that very well with James. They were playing, religious tapes over and over, so you were hearing a preacher as they're being tormented. Mm-hmm. And that's the perfect example for trigger. And it's really sad because, it could have been Disneyland, and I was abused at Disneyland, and every time I, maybe go on a ride at Disneyland or hear a song from Disney, now I'm associating, child abuse with that, but it happened to be a church, and that's what I associate with. I, just like with people, everyone has a choice, and, I can still have a relationship with someone who's Christian. That's not a problem for me. I don't feel like all Christian or religious organizations are like this. I just can't go into a church because of associations or hear songs. It's hard for me, and if I do go into one, it's just difficult for me.
I see. Well, thank you so much for answering the question, and thank you for being here. All the best.
Thank you, Joe, for calling in.
Thank you so much.
And it's true that you can't control where the trauma happens, and it's unfortunate. It's in a place that that you would want to practice or celebrate God or something, and now you can't because of your past.
Right. I also feel like, if I didn't go through this too, I would be so trusting about every single organization, mm-hmm. because I was so naive at that time, thinking anything that was stamped with, Christianity was okay. And it just opened my eyes that, of the reality that not everything is, what it may seem. Right. So, I mean, it just opened my eyes to be more cautious, that's all.
And that's probably why they put Christianity on it, is to have people trusted in it.
Behind it. Yeah, mm-hmm. Exactly.
And you were saying before,
for them.
Yeah, and isn't it immune from taxes and other things, being a church?
Exactly. So they get all the benefits. They're hiding behind the flag of Christianity. And it's perfect. And it's perfect to lure people in to trusting them,
And that's such a shame.
It's really sad. It is a shame.
And very creepy.
There are other
for lack of a better term.
There are other alternatives, so hopefully, people will think twice, once they see the haunted Netflix Cult of Torture with James, or, they read his book, Rusted Rhinestones, or read my book, Pieces of Victory, maybe they'll think twice about, sending their child to a lockdown program for teens.
Yeah, sure. It's time for our second break, and I wish James Swift could call in. That would be great. But we're going to take our second break. We'll be back with Moments of Clarity in just a moment. Stay tuned.
We will return to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Warner after these messages.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Are you looking to expand your knowledge in the mental health field and earn CEU credits at the same time? DID Discovering Hope is having their annual Creating Resilience Conference on November 15th and 16th, and it's open to all trauma survivors and therapists. 2 days of educational workshops will be led by internationally respected experts, including keynote speaker Dr. Colin A. Ross. For mental health professionals, 11 hours of CEUs are available. For more information or to register, visit diddiscoveringhope.org. Once again, that's diddiscoveringhope.org.
Hi, this is Tiffany Warner, your host of Moments of Clarity. Living with a mental health disorder is not easy. If you or someone you know are struggling with this, please know it's so important to seek treatment, and I'm here to help. Please visit the website at momentsofclaritywithtiffany.com to view blog posts and resources on this site to help educate and inspire you to take action, because there's no shame in seeking help for mental health. While you're there, please take a few seconds to sign up for my email list. You'll get some extremely valuable educational and entertaining content that can be sent right to your inbox each week. Plus, you'll also get instant and free access to my guide on managing your anxiety. You can also follow me on Twitter at MOC with Tiffany and at Facebook at Tiffany Warner. And once again, the website is momentsofclaritywithtiffany.com. Thank you so much for your support and for listening to your show, because change can only come when we stand together as one. Hi, this is Tiffany Warner, your host of Moments of Clarity. I'd like to give a shout out to musician-songwriter Don Lawson, who wrote, produced, and performed all the vocals and instruments on my Moments of Clarity theme song. Don gained his inspiration as a mental health counselor himself. He's always looking for artists to record his songs, and you can hear more of Don's music at reverbnation.com/Don Lawson. You can also check him out on Twitter at Don Lawson Music. Thank you so much, Don, for your contribution to Moments of Clarity and ending the stigma on mental health. It's awesome.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Now back to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Warner, licensed mental health counselor. To engage in the conversation, call 866-826-1340. Here's Tiffany.
Hi, welcome back. And if you're just tuning in, this is Moments of Clarity. My name's Tiffany Warner. I'm a licensed mental health counselor, and I'm your host. And happy Halloween, everyone. We're talking about something that could be a trigger for so many people. And because it's so common, and we're talking about child abuse and child sexual abuse. And my guest today was on an episode called The Haunted, and season 2, episode 3, The Cult of Torture. She's an author of Pieces of Victory and a TV show host called Pieces of Victory. And I want to welcome back to Moments of Clarity, Jeneen Miller.
Hello.
Hey, Jeneen. Hi. Do you want to talk a little bit about the legislation you're trying to pass?
Yes, I would love to. George Miller introduced it, and Adam Schiff has reintroduced the legislation. It's Stop Child Abuse in Residential Programs for Teens Act. It's a federal bill, and it will provide oversight, because evidently there is no oversight in these programs. Unfortunately, it is not passed yet, so we really need to be active and pass this bill. I'm all for religious liberty, but we didn't say to abuse our children.
Right.
So, that's why we need this. And if you have nothing to hide, then you should be okay with having the government oversee, your facility.
Agreed. If there's nothing to hide. Ed, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I'm just,
Go ahead.
On the start, you said you really didn't do anything to be put into there. What's your relationship with your parents now?
I'm not speaking to my family. I did forgive them for this, but they continued to be dysfunctional, and I just had to separate myself. So I don't have any ill will towards them, or, there's no hatred or anything like that. I wish them well. I also feel that all of this was meant to be, if that makes any sense. I feel that they played a role in my mission. I feel that this was my mission in this realm, that I needed to go through this in order to have the compassion that I have to get these places closed down. I feel that the negative things that happen to us could be a tool to build character, to have passion and compassion for someone, and that is the passion that gets me to get these places closed down. By spreading awareness.
I couldn't agree with that more. I wouldn't be a therapist if I didn't lose my parents at an early age and go through trauma. And sometimes we have to go through really bad things in order to find our calling.
I mean, if this is still going on in these facilities with the technology that we have today, I mean, look, child abuse is child abuse. You can't be a little bit pregnant. Either you're abusing a child or you're not.
Right.
With the technology we have nanny cams. Nobody's tried to infiltrate these people. I mean, and when I say these people, I mean just because you put a cross on the top of your building doesn't mean you have the right to put your hands on kids.
Right.
I mean, it is what it is. But I just wonder why these places are not being exposed. Are there many people that have come forward for this?
It's $1 billion industry. It's $1 billion industry, and you can kind of connect the dots with that if you want. That's one thing. And the other thing is someone had brought to my attention, again, you had mentioned today's technology. He said with iPhones and, the internet. And
sure.
How do you get away with this? Well, when you're in a lockdown residential program, one of the things they do, or the first things that they do to the children,
take it away.
Is they strip you down. They take everything away. They take your iPhones. There's no internet. You have no communication whatsoever to the outside world. It is not what you think. There is no iPhone.
I mean, are there bars on the windows, or what's the deal?
Well, in my case, there weren't very many windows, and that's why they were shut down, because they weren't fire code compliant. And he was open since 1985, and the school finally closed in 1991. We'll talk about rebranding in just a minute, but that was in Ramona, California. And he got away in California, in a liberal state, from 1985 to 1991.
Now,
without a license.
When these kids are reached 18, are they deemed reformed and released, or must they stay?
I didn't see anyone stay past 18. That is a good question, because this brings me to the kids that were locked into, it was Kidnapped for Christ. I cannot remember the name of the school, Escribe Caribe or something like that. I can look it up real quick. But anyway, if you watch Kidnapped for Christ, David, who is also another survivor, was locked in the Dominican, he was sent away, kidnapped in the middle of the night and sent away to the Dominican Republic. And he was going to be locked in there until the age of 21. You can't do that. But apparently, they were trying to keep him there until the age of 21.
If you watch The Haunted, Ed, the Cult of Torture episode, season 2, episode 3, it puts a visual of what they're doing to these kids.
Okay, but looking at it as a parent, you're dropping your kid off. Parents never come back for Thanksgiving or Christmas or birthdays to check on the child, or just see you when you're 18.
No, there were visits. Well, I'll just talk about my school. Every school is different. Every lockdown is different. In my particular lockdown, the parents couldn't see the child for 3 months, and then it was once a month